So I didn't work on the minor stuff. I just didn't have time with school starting and everything. But I did try to play along with doing lead when listening to Dylan.
Okay.
You know, he's capable on two.
Okay.
Well,
have you been doing it that way, or so you've been playing along with the recording?
Both. I mean, but when I sing it myself, I do it open.
Okay, so let's do it without the recording then, or let's do it. Let's hear the first verse and stuff. And
well, then I'm not going to do that.
Okay, we'll do that next. But let me just get the chord progression back in my head.
Selling postcards of the hanging, in a passport's brown, beauty parlors filled with sellers, circuses in town. Here comes the blind commissioner, got him in a trance. One hand is tied to the tightrope walker, and the other is in his pants. And the riot squad, they're restless, they need somewhere to go. Lady and I look out tonight, Desolation Road. That was
okay,
it.
perfect.
So that's
and every verse goes just like that.
Yeah, every verse, which is good.
Okay.
Now it's just the words you have to know. And then
yeah, what do you got, 11, 15 verses or something like that? It goes on for a while.
Yeah,
huh?
I bet he had like a book of them.
Yeah.
This is probably after he narrowed them down.
Yeah. Okay, so as I play through that chord progression, let's hear you do something. 2, 3, 4. Good. Good, because I put that extra measure in. Sorry. Now we're
sorry.
back. Yeah. But you know what? So
I gotta listen better.
that's okay. You did a really good job. Because what I was wondering, when you sang this, you put an extra measure of D in there, and I think he probably does that,
No,
right? It
no,
doesn't seem right to rush into that second line to me.
I don't know what he did, to tell you the truth.
Okay, so
I was just trying to listen to the chord changes as he did them.
Yeah.
And then be tuned in. I kind of lost track of which measure. I was like with 8th or the 9th or the 10th measure.
Yeah.
It wasn't like really. It shouldn't matter, right?
Right. Okay. But but we have to be on the same page now if we're going to do something there. And so what I was doing was I was going to play it the same way you sang it with what I considered an extra measure.
It is.
But I think we need that extra measure in there because when you're singing that line.
So how many measures would it be in the entire thing?
Well, what did you get for the first line?
Oh God. Okay.
Let's break this down and
so it's 4.
Right. Kind of sing it.
On postcards of the hanging, painted a passport's brown.
Okay, so that was 4.
That's 4. And
Okay,
this
now
is
we're in the
4.
second line. Let's hear the next line.
Parlors filled with sailors, circuses in town, and then
Right, so we're really putting 5 measures in that line.
I know.
Right? It feels like the right thing to do. Absolutely the right thing to do. It just seems weird to
It's
do.
not squared off.
Beauty parlor filled with sailors, the circus is in town. Here comes. It's like, are we ready to go into that next line that
I
quickly?
think he does that.
And he might.
Yeah.
In which case he kept it square. We can listen in just a second.
Also, he sings this a little bit more slowly than that.
I like what you did with it, which was kind of give it a little beat. First of all, I'll take the 8-minute song and make it a 6-minute song, which is a good thing. Oh, it's an 11-minute song already, I think.
I think it's long.
Yeah, but so I like that extra measure in there. It gives you a second to sort of it gives the singer a second to kind of think and see, well, am I going to blast into this or am I going to
Because not only that, because the words are like busy. You know, there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
It's not just like
so a little space in there is
tell your ma, tell your pa, love's gonna grow. Ooh, wah, wah. he does that in that Talking World War III blues.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, making fun of rock and roll being so vacuous and
yeah.
You know. And so you have to think after this. You need a wow. You just said a whole lot of stuff, and now
it's like let's digest it for a second.
That's what that's
okay.
what it feels like to me.
And now the next 2 lines are the same. Are we going to put that extra measure in there? So sing that.
Here comes the blind commissioner playing lead on top. There's no problem for him to hear these chord changes, right?
Mike Bloomfield was playing that.
Bloomfield,
yeah. And but chances are, well. Are there any instrumental breaks in there where they just strum through the whole thing instrumentally?
Twice. It does with the harmonica.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now.
And I got a little lost when he was doing it because I started listening to the harmonica.
Mm-hmm. So he may not, in those cases,
I was wondering about that.
This squareness to it. So again, we'll listen to this in just a second and see, because we're kind of now squaring this up. Maybe unnecessarily.
I won't square it up once I get.
When you're playing it by yourself, you'll
pretty square. But
yeah, well, that's what I mean. You have the right and the the license, let's say, or the ability to throw in extra measures wherever the heck you want. Now, it wouldn't make sense to do something like to throw in extra measures in the middle of a 4-measure phrase, because that's a a separate entity almost. And then, but at the end of any line, you could tack on a couple of extra measures. You could even do something like this: postcards of the hang. This might be a little strange, but painted passports brown, beauty parlors built with sailors, the circus is in town. Here comes the blind commissioner. Now that seemed weird. It didn't seem like it fits the song.
Fancy.
Yeah, exactly. It's not Dylan. It
was nice.
It's Neil Young now or something, who's a step more more musical in just the instrumental in the musical in the.
But this is like reading a poem. There's a cadence to it.
Right.
I think the words, the delivery of the story in the words, is like a pulse that's being thrown at you.
Yeah. Okay, so as far as like Mike Bloomfield's concerned, it doesn't really matter where Dylan starts singing these. He could just be following along and be ready.
How do you know when a chord changes? Do you anticipate it, or is this a subtle little first bass note? Boom, you're there. Because you don't know how many he's going to go with. You don't know what I'm going to do.
Right.
Until I do it.
The cue is always the singing. The words start first. Whenever you decide to start singing, we're at the first D, because there's not even a chord change at the beginning of each verse. In other words, writing. You can start singing anytime you want. So I know where you're going to change, because now you're going right. It's got to be right now. So the words were my cue. I don't care. It doesn't matter how many measures we put in there.
That makes it easy.
Yeah. So you could leave in 6 measures. You could do 2, and I'm not going to a G chord until you've been singing for 2 measures anyway. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to, because I know the chord progression, and so all I have to do is find the starting point.
Once I kick in.
When you kick in. So I'm waiting for you to start singing. And you might look at me. Okay, let's start this again. Let's take it from the same place. Do 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 do. So you're finishing a verse. Do 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 do. And now you look at me and say, "Take a lead." And now I might
just keep playing D.
That was too early. They should have been able to hear because of what I did.
I did. I knew I screwed up there.
Okay.
But I thought I got confused.
Okay. So did you hear what happened?
Yeah, I did.
That when I said, now you look at me and you tell me to play a lead, now I start something that sounds like the melody. We put in an extra measure there because you heard.
I think I went before you did. Though.
No, you didn't. But what happened? You hung on D, and so I didn't play any more melody, and I didn't play. I kind of stopped.
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh, we should go into the third line. We were a measure late if we were trying to stay in exactly the form that he was doing. But you could hear that when I finally did. Start singing anytime with the next verse. We kind of
that sounds good. Yeah.
We put that together, sort of following each other, where when you heard me start the melody, you knew where we were and you knew when to change to G.
Now, I thought we kept the first two lines over and over and over,
which we could have done,
but it didn't feel right. When all of a sudden it's like, wow, that doesn't feel right. So you went through the entire thing.
Yeah.
That sounds like performable.
Sure.
But, you know, I'm just strumming.
Yeah.
Guitars sound good, and then that lead sounded really good. That's
Thanks.
what you do when you play really good. Like when you play with K.O. or somebody on stage, and you're taking it off on a lead. That's what you do, right?
Yeah, and I'm just working with the chord progression.
Do you know the chord progression?
Well, yeah, we've already played it once.
I mean, with somebody on stage, you know, you get up there with K.O. and he starts doing some song, and it's in an open G or C. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
what the hell do you do then?
So you listen to it once, and you you relegate it to permanent memory instantly.
You play a little thing maybe, and then you got it. Then you start taking off more. Is that?
Well, if he's going to sing through one verse, all I'm going to need to do is hear one verse, and then I'll have the chord progression down.
Pretty much listen to that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So
That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I would.
He doesn't give you a playlist,
He has.
and do you listen to everything he's going to play?
Oh, not before we play them. Usually, in other words.
But some songs you don't know at all.
Right. So sometimes I might not know.
Man, that takes.
Okay, so if we were making up a song, you had a song you were going to play. Unfortunately, probably any song you could pick right now off the top of your head, I probably already know.
You probably have taught me.
Probably.